going on? Have another executive session.
I'll apologize in advance. I have a terrible cold, but it's not COVID, so I'll be wearing a mask. Hopefully you can still hear me. I just didn't want to infect my fellow council members or the staff. So please take notice that action will be taken on the following items at the regular council meeting on Tuesday, February 13th, 2024 in council chambers, Sparta Township, Municipal Building 65 Main Street, Sparta, New Jersey. The time is 6:13 p.m. or 7:13 p.m. The regular meeting is open at 7 p.m. All council meetings are now live streamed and can be viewed at the following link, www.youtube.com/SpartaTWP/streams. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the public and the press on January 5th, 2024, by delivering to the press and posting on the township website a copy of the notice. May I have a roll call vote? A roll call, please.
Councilman Hertzberg.
Here.
Councilman Quinn.
Here.
Councilman Chiarello.
I'm here.
Deputy Mayor Bonetti.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
Here. All right, we will salute the flag. So please stand. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I have the open public meetings executive session motion, but we've already done that, so we can skip that and go right to the proclamations. Tonight, we have two proclamations that I'm very pleased to read. The first one has to do with Black History Month, and so I'll read that proclamation, and then after I finish reading, I'll ask representatives from, I believe it's NORSCAP, to come forward and accept the proclamation. This is Office of the Mayor Proclamation, Black History Month. Whereas Black History Month is celebrated annually in February to recognize the contributions that African Americans have made to American history, and whereas Black History Month provides an opportunity to reflect on the significant roles that African Americans have played in shaping our nation's history, and whereas Black History Month is an opportunity to celebrate the achievements of African Americans and to recognize their central role in American history. And whereas the month of February was chosen for Black History Month as it marks the birth of Frederick Douglass, W.E. Du Bois, Langston Hughes, and Abraham Lincoln, whose actions greatly impacted the lives of the American Black population and grew out of Black History Week, which was traditionally celebrated during the second week of February and expanded in 1976 as part of the nation's bicentennial. And whereas the Township of Sparta invites all residents of the community to renew their commitment to ensuring racial equality, understanding, and justice for all in their efforts to advance the cause of equality for every person, regardless of race, creed, or religious preference, creating a world that is more just, peaceful, and prosperous for all. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Council of the Township of Sparta does hereby proclaim the month of February as Black History Month and encourages all residents to honor the history and contributions of African Americans in our nation, state, and community. So at this point, I'm going to ask Deputy Mayor Dean Blumetti to present the proclamation, as I do not want to infect any of our representatives. I don't want your first time at Town Council to be sick. So.
Yeah, one more. One more. You get it?
And thank you for trekking out in the, what do we get, 10 inches of snow? I appreciate it, and thank you for all that you do. I appreciate it, and I'm glad that we can have a proclamation. Thank you. We do have another proclamation. It's for the American Heart Association in honor of American Heart Month. Whereas heart disease and stroke claim more lives each year in the United States than all forms of cancer and chronic lower respiratory disease combined. In 2020, coronary heart disease was the leading cause of deaths attributed to CVD, which is cardiovascular disease in the United States, followed by stroke. And whereas heart disease can often be prevented when people make healthy choices and manage their health conditions with proper exercise, adequate sleep, no smoking, and proper nutrition. And whereas communities, health professionals, and families working together can create opportunities for people to make healthier choices, such as refraining from tobacco use, maintaining an optimal blood pressure, decreasing the intake of salt in their diets, and increasing physical activity. And whereas developments in technology and the discovery of early markers of heart disease have allowed for physicians to diagnose and treat heart disease much sooner and to develop strategies for their patients to stay heart healthy. Now therefore be it resolved that the Township Council of the Township of Sparta hereby proclaims the month of February to be American Heart Month and invites all the township residents to join them in committing to fighting cardiovascular disease. We did have a representative who was going to come, but due to the weather is unable to be here. But I will say, as someone who has just got back from the cardiologist, because when you get over 40 and turn 50, it's very important that you do get your cholesterol checked regularly. So luckily everything is fine, but I encourage everyone to get the cholesterol screening. There are, I'm not a big fan of pharmaceuticals, but there are some that can very much help with your cholesterol level. And so I encourage everyone, given that it is the month, to do what you need to do to make sure that your heart is healthy. So with that, I'm going to hold on to this, and we will get, I guess, the person from the American Heart Association, we'll give this to him or her at another time. Okay, on to the minutes that we need to approve. May I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of September 26, 2023?
I move that we approve the regular meeting minutes from September 26, 2023.
And may I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I think,
I'll abstain.
yes, I think Josh and Councilman Blumetti, or Councilman Hertzberg and Councilman Blumetti were not present at that, so they have both abstained, and the approvals are by Councilman Chiarello, Councilwoman Quinn, and Councilman Clark. May I have a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 23rd, 2024?
I move that we approve the regular meeting minutes of January 23rd, 2024.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The regular meeting minutes of January 23rd, 2024 are approved. This time it is for the manager's report. May I have the manager's report?
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council, and Sparta residents. I always like this part where I get to make firefighter appointments, because the trend has been that a lot of towns are having problems attracting volunteer firefighters for the good cause, but I'm happy to announce that at the recommendation of Chief Chris Angelucci, that I would like to appoint John Halewick Jr. and Michael Keller as members to the Sparta Township Fire Department. Mr. Halewick has been in the fire service for nearly 30 years and is a past volunteer member of Roxbury Fire Department, has recently retired from the City of Passaic Fire Department as a career battalion chief, and currently serves as an instructor at Sussex County Public Safety Training Academy. Mr. Keller is new to the fire service and is eager to serve his community. He will start his state-mandated Firefighter 1 training shortly. Chief Angelucci is confident that both applicants will be an asset to the department. I'm also happy on some staff recognition. I'm happy to report that our current municipal treasurer, Dawn Crumford, has passed her state exam and will receive her New Jersey Municipal Finance Officer certification. And Samantha Murray in our tax department has passed her state exam and will receive her New Jersey Tax Collector certification. Having trained staff such as this will further benefit our operations and residential services. Congratulations. Public Works Department. I was curious what I should say today about that.
You should say congratulations. They did a fantastic job.
Our Public Works and Parks Department have been busy today, plowing snow and treating road and sidewalk surfaces. They started at midnight and have been working all day to keep our roads safe. Although Town Hall was closed and the schools were closed today, they were able to get our parking lots and sidewalks ready for tonight's meeting. Thank you all for attending. The Parks and Recreation Department, the annual Winter Carnival was held this past Saturday at the middle school. It is estimated that approximately 600-plus people enjoyed the various activities. I'd like to thank all staff and volunteers who made the event a success. The Circle of Friends preschool registration for fall 2024 opens on February 15th at the Recreation Office. Day camp at Camp Sacagawea registration opens to residents on March 1st for 6-week sessions from July 1st to August 9th. This month's Council Connect session is scheduled for Thursday, February 15th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Sparta Library. Please take this opportunity to come out and speak to council members in an informal setting. Schedule and details can be found on the Sparta website homepage. Chief McCarrick will now read his portion of the manager's report. This concludes my report. Thank you, Mayor, Council, and Sparta residents.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Zeb. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. Just 2 quick points, update from the Police Department. As I said in the past, we continue to do our traffic studies with our traffic bureau around the township so we can enforce motor vehicle violations in an efficient manner. One of the latest studies was on Sparta Avenue in the area of Sparta Commons. For approximately a 3-week data collection period, the average speed was 40.5 miles per hour, with an average of 3,600 vehicles passing daily. This is a 45 mile per hour zone. Since January 1st of this year, our Patrol Division and Traffic Bureau have spent an approximate 10 hours of dedicated traffic enforcement in this area. During the enforcement period, there were minimal speeding violations observed. Our officers will continue to enforce motor vehicle violations throughout the township, and our Traffic Bureau will continue to do these studies through data collection. Starting this July, our officers are teaming up to provide the youth in our community with specialized instructions on some of their best skills. Each week, a different officer will meet with a group of pre-registered youth and teach them how to do activities such as fishing, jump roping, cooking, flag football, cheerleading, archery, defensive tactics, and much more. This community service outreach is led by Officer Elise Brown. It is designed for the youth of the community to get on a personal level with our officers and also have some fun while doing it. With this instruction, there will be important conversations about ways to remain drug-free, making good decisions, setting goals, and other life skills. As we are finalizing our developing stages, we ask that you keep on a lookout on our social media and our webpage for more detailed information. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief McCarrick. May I have a motion to accept the manager's report? May I have a second?
I will second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We now move to the public comment period. The comments for this particular section of public comment are limited to items not on the agenda. So if you're here to speak about a resolution or an ordinance, this is not the time. This is public comment on any issues that are not on the agenda. Okay, seeing no one, we will move to expenditures. Deputy Mayor, would you please read the expenditures for February 13th, 2024?
Yep. I make a motion that we approve the expenditures for February 13th, 2024 of $2,928,560.26.
May I have a second?
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. We're now at the introduction of ordinance portion of our program. Madam Clerk, could you please read the title of ordinance 2402?
Ordinance of the Township of Sparta amending Chapter 12, Building and Housing of the Township Code by the creation of an article entitled Lead-Based Paint Hazard Inspection Requirements for Rental Dwellings.
May I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2402?
I'll make a motion to introduce 2402.
May I have a second?
I will second it.
May I have a roll call vote?
Can we have a period of discussion?
Sure.
Is there a change that we wanted to?
Yes, I believe section 12-10.2, subsection 5, the total reinspection clearance should read 320 instead of 295.
Correct.
So just to error us to the map.
I'm sorry, what section is that?
Top of page 3, section 5, reinspection clearance by the township's third-party lead inspector. Instead of 295, it should read 320 per unit.
Okay. I will make a motion that we amend ordinance 2402 to change section paragraph 12 /10.2, paragraph F, G5 to read instead
320.
$320 per unit.
I'll second that.
May we have given that it's a roll call vote on the amendment, the motion to amend section 12-10.2, paragraph F5.
Councilman Hertzberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Chiarello.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Blumetti.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes.
May I ask if this needs to be reintroduced at the next meeting, or is that?
No, it's a typographical error, so we're okay.
Okay, thank you. I also have another question. Can somebody briefly explain why this is being introduced? I'm not talking about the merits of it, just the reason for its introduction.
Required by state statute.
Okay, thank you. I have no other questions.
So we need to move to as amended, am I right?
Yes.
Okay. May I have a motion to introduce ordinance, a roll call vote on the motion to introduce ordinance 2402 as amended?
Councilman Hertzberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Chiarello.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Blumetti.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. Motion carries. We are now at the hearing of ordinance. Will the clerk please read the title of ordinance 2401?
An ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administration, Committees, Boards, Commissions, Section 2-39, Environmental Commission of the Revised General Ordinance of the Township of Sparta.
And now we are open to the public for simply comment on this particular ordinance, which is 2401. Does anyone from the public wish to be heard on ordinance 2401? Okay, seeing no one from the public, is anyone from council interested in making any discussion or comments about ordinance 2401?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 2401.
May I have a second?
I will second it.
May I have a roll call vote?
Councilman Hertzberg.
Yes.
Councilwoman Quinn.
Yes.
Councilman Chiarello.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Blumetti.
Yes.
Mayor Clark.
Yes. The ordinance passes. We're now up to the next, open to the public, just to speak on resolutions. So this is a comment period limited to the resolutions. Please be mindful that if you were here at the last meeting, the motion carried that we have a 5-minute limit to which to make your public comment. And so if you will, please be mindful of that and keep your comments to under 5 minutes. So again, this is with respect to the resolutions.
Thanks, Mayor. Mike Devine, Oak Parkway. My comment relates to Resolution 99. I'm not nearly as conversant on this as I would like to be, but I'm assuming that that is voting or having a resolution as to whether or not to support a public meeting, public hearing on the revision or the amendment of the water quality treatment plan. Is that correct? Or is there something more than just?
I think the best for us is to actually take a look at the actual resolution, which will be made available to the public, which identifies what the resolution is for. I think we all have to be sensitive about comments that we make for reasons that don't need to be announced. So I think that my recommendation is that if you have issues with, want to know what the resolution is about, then, take a look at the resolution and that should identify for you what the resolution is covering and what it doesn't cover.
That in here, Neil, the package? I didn't see it.
Yeah,
To speak to it, is that the state statute required that the township receive a copy. So that's why it's on a resolution for tonight.
okay. And what is it that the resolution, if you could,
Title of resolution?
yes.
Resolution advising that the Sparta Township Council is unable to make a determination as to whether the township consents to the proposed Sussex Water Quality Management Plan Amendment entitled Designation of the Sparta Warehouse Sewer Service Area.
So is that, I don't know what I'm allowed to say. Does that suggest that you would support having a public hearing on the subject? That's the sense I get is what this is all about.
I think it's unrelated to
It's
the public
unrelated,
hearing
yeah.
concept, Mike.
It is or is
It's
not?
unrelated to
It's unrelated.
a public hearing.
New Jersey
Yeah.
DEP.
Well, if you agree to the resolution, what's the impact of it?
Yeah, I think DEP will make that determination sort of out of our hands, whether whatever we do with this respect to this resolution, whether they decide to have a public hearing or not, is really their call, not our call. And so I can't put myself in the mind of the DEP to tell you if we do this, then they will do, because I'm not the DEP. So I know that answer may not be satisfactory, but that's the best we can do here, I think, is that that's up to the DEP to hold a public hearing. We don't have necessary control over that.
But we can go on record as supporting it, I assume. We can say, yeah, I think a public hearing is a good idea. Is that what we're about?
But this resolution is not about whether or not we support a public hearing. This resolution is about whether or not we provide consent to changing the an amendment that was proposed to the water quality management report. And please correct me if I'm wrong.
Water
Okay, some
quality.
of the things I've read, again, I'm not up to total speed on this. There were things in there that, first of all, I won't talk about the specific application, but it seems to me it's quite a bit of flux. There are parts of it haven't even been heard by the planning board. There's statements in there that some part of the revised plan is consistent with our master plan. I'm just concerned that if whatever we do implies that we agree with all that, it's kind of tough to be on record. I'm not sure we should be in a position to do that.
Yeah, again, this passes no judgment on the application itself.
Right.
Again, correct me if I'm wrong. This is only on the water quality management plan.
Correct.
And the resolution, the way it's read, I believe, is that it's not withholding or providing consent. It's saying that the council at this time doesn't have enough information to make that determination.
Okay, so all right, so it's not going to have an effect whether there's a public hearing or not.
No,
It's independent of that.
The reason
Yes.
it's before this governing body is the state regulations require when there is a proposed amendment that it be sent to the governing body for consideration.
Strikes me, and I don't remember all the sequence of events, why would be at this point before the application has matured further? Does that make sense to everybody? I don't know, why are they modifying the water treatment plan?
They're not modifying.
We don't know that answer. All we know is that it's been sent to us. We've been provided the notice as required by the regulations.
Right, the last point I'll make is I just want to be careful not to go on record for things that we don't intend to go on record for. Whether that's relevant or not, I don't know. I know you're dealing with a complicated thing, so I appreciate you trying to clarify. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Any other member of the public wish to be heard on the resolutions? We're at the public comment period limited to resolutions at this point.
Hi, I just walked in, sorry. Jenny Derricks, Tap into Sparta. I'm sorry I didn't get to hear if there was any comments that are going to be redundant to what I'm saying. But here we are again. About 2.5 years ago, this same resolution came to the council. The difference is back then, at least the three of you didn't know what this meant. You didn't know the import, the impact of this water quality amendment. And I expect that we do now know a lot more about it. I haven't seen the version of the resolution you're supposed to be considering this evening. In the past resolution, excuse me, there was a part of that language that said that the town council was affirming that this project, that this plan was consistent with the township's master plan. And the one thing that we do know right now is that we don't know if that's true. We don't know if this project is consistent with the master plan. I haven't seen the language of the resolution, so I don't know if that language is included in this version. And I apologize if I'm being redundant, but that's something that we didn't know back then. We do know now that that question of consistency is in the courts. So that's not something that can be answered tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, there is no language of the resolution in here, at least that I can find. So we don't really know what we're commenting on.
Is there a copy of it up there on the dais?
I can read it into the record again if that helps the title of it, if you want, or I can read the whole thing.
Yeah, if we could, I understand that the issue is that the public does not have a copy of the actual resolution. Normally they do, and then in this case, they don't. And so, I think what efforts are we going to undertake to ensure that the public has a copy of this resolution that's being considered by us tonight?
I think all we can do at this point is we can read it into the record.
And then after
Can we make a copy of it?
after it's adjudicated here, if it were to pass, I'm sure this could be posted as part on our website.
I would amend the agenda to include this resolution.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other comments on resolutions? Okay, seeing none, we will now move to the resolutions. I think that before I do so, I would like to, we have, I think, about 9 resolutions tonight. It would be my recommendation that we carve out 7, 8, and 9. for a separate vote and take resolutions 1 through 6 in mass.
I move that we approve resolutions 9-1 through 9-6.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So resolutions 1 through 6 are passed. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 9-7, authorizing the appointment of special counsel to represent the Township of Sparta in PFAS litigation?
I move that we approve resolution 9-7 as you just introduced.
Second.
And before we have a vote, just so the public knows, what this resolution does is to have the hiring of special counsel who represent Sparta Township in ongoing litigation involving what's called as forever chemicals. These chemicals, it's alleged, have, as a result of negligence by certain manufacturers of the product, have entered our waterways, and it's going to probably require significant upgrades to our sewer systems, our water systems, et cetera. And so the litigation is designed to recoup some of those expenses on behalf of the township. And so luckily there are very skilled lawyers who are handling this, and they will represent the Township of Sparta in this litigation. So that is what Resolution 9-7 is about.
God bless
So
you.
with that explanation, I think we can move to a vote. All in favor of Resolution 9-7, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Resolution 9-7 carries. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 9-8?
I'll make a motion, we approve Resolution 9-8.
Second.
And can someone explain what Resolution 9-8 is before we have a vote?
So resolution 9-8 comments on the new proposed legislation, which is Assembly Bill A4, Senate Bill 50, which are proposed to make significant changes to the affordable housing setup as it exists now. It rules for abolishing COA and providing for different standards, different numbers, and it's something that we feel imposes an unreasonable obligation on municipalities. And so this resolution points out in great detail the reasons for that.
Thank you. And I know that, it's my comment on this is, though well-intentioned, I think my investigation of this bill, it's a little ill-considered at this point. I think that with the Senate bill as currently drafted has a lot of problems with it. At least from my point of view, one of the problems is it doesn't give significant weight, which the Mount Laurel decision did, about environmental concerns that a township can take into account with respect to its affordable housing obligations. Another problem with the Senate bill is also that in making the calculation for the allocation of the fair housing units, it's relying on the calculation as identified in an unpublished judicial opinion. And as any lawyer knows, you don't even cite unpublished opinions in a brief to a court, much less putting that into a calculation that every municipality in the entire state would have to use. So again, I think there's significant problems with this Senate bill, and I think it is, and I know, and maybe Councilwoman Quinn can speak to this, because she's a member of the League of Municipalities. A lot of municipalities have also expressed their opposition to this bill. So, Sparta is not standing alone here in opposing, or at least opposing the overhaul of the Fair Housing Act as specified in Senate Bill 50.
So you're absolutely correct, Mayor. And there was actually a conference to go over this. 165 elected officials throughout the state were on it earlier this week. There are just a tremendous amount of open questions, to your point, And additionally, especially from the perspective of Sparta Township, one of the big things that is not addressed in any of this is what happens to the pre-existing legal contracts and settlements that are all in place right now. So for example, Sparta Township has a pre-existing contract signed, a settlement agreement with the state. And nowhere in any of this information does it say what happens. Are all of those now out the window? Or are they going to be still in force and effect? So there's a lot of
I
questions.
think they say it when they say abolish COA.
Well,
It's
the
a
problem is the
agreement.
contract is with, yes. So, I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions. And again, these are, coming in as guidelines, but they're very ambiguous. So you are correct. Sparta is not standing alone in the fact that, this is something that is not making everyone comfortable. So,
If I can offer a comment too, just speaking only for myself, this does not, any action we take right now does not signal that we don't take this as a very important issue. I've spent a lot of time on this myself, and I've spoken with each member of the council individually about this. We take housing, and affordable housing very seriously. But affordable housing is not just a problem in Sparta, it's a problem in pretty much every municipality in the state, in the country, and frankly, all over the world. There's many countries in the world that wrestle with this. It's a hard problem, and it needs attention and solutions, and we're not going to stop. No matter what action takes place at this resolution right now, we're not going to stop focusing on trying to figure out what we can do to make that situation better in Sparta.
Thank you. And again, thank you, Councilwoman Quinn, for providing a lot of information on this Senate bill. Based on your position with the League of Municipalities, I found it very helpful. So thank you.
great. You're welcome.
All right, so may we have a vote on Resolution 998? All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 98 passes. May I have a motion to approve Resolution 99? Yeah, I'd like to read it.
This is where we have to, this is,
Yeah, we'll read the resolution.
Resolution advising that the Sparta Township Council is unable to make a determination as to whether the township consents to the proposed Sussex Water Quality Management, WQM, Plan Amendment entitled Designation of the Sparta Warehouse Sewer Service Area. Would you like me to read the whole thing, Mayor?
Could you summarize? Would that make sense?
Yes, so this resolution, what it does is establishes that the DEP requires that the municipality receive notice of this application, and the Sparta Township Council finds that it doesn't have enough current information to render a decision on the proposed WQM plan amendment for the Diamond Ship Logistics Park. And for the reasons set forth within this proposed resolution, the Township Council is unable to make a determination as to whether the township consents to the proposed WQM amendment or not. Is that sufficient?
Thank you. And so we have a motion. Did we get a second on the motion to approve Resolution 99?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Have a roll call? Roll call.
Oh, roll call. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Hertzberg,
Yes.
Councilwoman Quinn,
Yes.
Councilman Chiarello,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Blumetti,
Abstain.
Mayor Clark.
Abstain. Resolution 99 has passed as there are 3 votes in favor and 2 abstentions. We're now at the council liaison updates. I will start to my right. Are there any council liaison updates? Councilman Chiarello.
Yes, I have a few to offer. The Revolution NJ 250 Committee met last on January 25th. We had met 2 weeks prior to that as well. From the last couple of meetings, we formed a preliminary plan, and again, the plan that we're crafting is try to determine what activities, events, celebrations that we would like undertake in Sparta in order to celebrate the nation's 250th birthday in 2026. We have a lot of really good ideas floating around, and the plan is put together now because there's a grant funding deadline of April, I believe, and we're going to try to see if we can get some grant money to fund some of these interesting things that we were planned. But in any case, there's some good stuff going on. And I believe the committee next meets on March 4th, if that's a Monday. So anybody is welcome to join us. It's at the VFW. And if the date is wrong, I'll try to, you can see the dates on our website, I believe. The members of the council and members of the Board of Ed did have a meeting, as we do periodically. We try to do this quarterly. And again, we meet to discuss common areas of interest in how we can best serve the taxpayer. We had a productive meeting, and I look forward to more. The Business Development Committee, I believe, meets tomorrow. I'll say no more on that. The Environmental Commission did meet last week. Some of the highlights of the meeting included that there was a lot of discussion of salt testing. So the committee is trying to test salt in various waterways around the area to see the impact of runoff from road salting in advance of a storm. And I'd also like to say that we were happy that Commissioner DeGroot joined us for the meeting and stayed the whole time. And we had talked a lot about farmland protection, which Commissioner DeGroot takes very seriously, and we were very happy to have his presence at the last meeting. And also, we passed resolution ordinance 2401, which adds a student liaison to the committee, and the committee is looking forward to that. And I believe that the person can be named 21 days after today, I believe is the case here. So, and that's a mayoral appointment, so I look forward to the mayor appointing someone very cool to join us. And that's all I have for committee reports.
Dan, I'm sorry, who did you say came to the meeting and stayed?
Commissioner Jack DeGroot.
Oh, DeGroot, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Umedi?
Yep, I'd like to offer just some comments on the planning board. The Plan Endorsement Advisory Committee, the PAC, met last week, and with our planner. That progress is moving forward very nicely. We're going to have different meetings plotted out for both the council meetings and planning board meetings to share progress on the Plan Endorsement Advisory work. The Master Plan Subcommittee will be meeting next week. And there's a whole schedule for the rest of the year of the planning board, master plan subcommittee meetings scheduled. The site plan waiver subcommittee, it's been full steam ahead for many weeks now. Didn't really lose too much traction over the beginning of January, middle of January. So that work is ongoing. Finally, I just wanted to mention the Highlands Council. Some of you may know that the Highlands Council is looking to potentially make 2 amendments to the regional master plan. They're seeking public input, public comment on these 2 amendments. There are multiple channels to submit comments. There were 6 public sessions. Now there are 4 remaining still, so you can attend one of those public sessions in person. I'll tell you where those are in a minute. Also, there's emails, so you can send your comments in by email or even written mail as well. The public sessions are going to be on February 20th, 2 on February 21st, and 1 on February 22nd. Although the comment period for email and mail is up until April 1st, so you have some time to do it that way. The sessions, there's going to be one in West Milford, which is the closest, one in Chester, one in Clinton, and one in Independence Township. All of this, you can find more information on this on the website for the council amendments, which is www.nj.gov/NJ Highlands/master/amendments. So that will have the schedule of where the meetings are and how to submit the comments via email or mail if you'd like. That concludes my update for planning board.
Thank you, Councilman Umedi. There's significant overlap between Councilman Cirillo and I with respect to the Revolutionary 250. I will not add to that. I think he covered it very well, and he's done a tremendous amount of work in that. I would just encourage the public to get involved. There are ideas that the public can have about how to celebrate the 250th anniversary, and so I encourage people to participate. As you hear more about this committee, please submit your ideas, and I think we have a fantastic committee. I just want to encourage people to weigh in. The next is with respect to, I'm also a liaison to Lake Mohawk, along with Councilwoman Quinn, and I believe we are scheduled to have another meeting February 20th, if I'm correct. And so I'm very, we are really improving this relationship and connection with Lake Mohawk, and it's consistent with that. We will be meeting February 20th, and so whatever happens at that meeting, I will share at the subsequent town council meeting. And with respect to the school board, Board of Education, I think Councilman Chiarello covered it well, so I don't need to add to that. So I don't have any further council liaison updates for me. So Councilman Hertzberg.
Yeah, my meeting is in the morning, so I'm going to pass it off to Chris.
Okay, so Salute 07871, our Hometown Heroes 2024 campaign. Well, the deadline is the 20th, so it's next week. Anyone who is interested in ordering Hometown Hero banners or sponsoring someone, please go to our website, www.spartanj.org. The information as well as the link to fill out a form are all out on the website. So again, please be mindful of that deadline. We do these orders, as you've heard me say, once a year now, and we have a defined deadline so that we can get them. Our hope is to get them before Memorial Day, so we can put the new banners up as well. Just a little FAQ. Jenny, thank you for posting that. And Jenny asked a question, hey, what is the total number of banners? Which is a great question because I have them all in pieces. So I'm really happy to say that we have 234 Hometown Hero banners, which is amazing. We have over 300 requests, so Vanessa and I will be meeting next week, once the order's closed, to process this new batch. The great news is we have 300 light poles, so a great problem to have is we're running out of light poles.
Right, exactly.
We'll figure it out, but it's a great problem to have, and we couldn't be prouder to have it. So on another note, when we started this campaign, when we started Salute, one of the first things we started was Hometown Heroes, and we said, we really hope that what we're doing is running this successful initiative and other municipalities will pick up on it. And I've shared over time, some of the other municipalities in the county are. And I'm very happy to say that Newton is now running their own Hometown Heroes campaign. So they reached out, got the information about our provider, so super excited about that. So I'd love to see this, and that was our intention, to really kind of see it grow throughout the whole county, and it looks like it's going in that direction. So I do want to thank everybody at the VFW, Commander Litchfield. Josh and I are incredibly grateful to all the volunteer efforts of everybody on the committee, and we're super excited about not just the Hometown Heroes, but all the other things we have going on in Salute 07871. Just so people are aware, the process goes like this. You put your online information in on the form. If you are not internet savvy, you can go to our library or come into town hall. Someone can help, or you can reach out to my email, and I'll be happy to walk you through the process. Once you have completed the form, Vanessa will send an email follow-up asking for the electronic copy of the photo to be used in the banner. So that's the process. The Municipal Alliance team, super excited about 2024. I've reported at the last meeting all the great things that we're going to be supporting. And all of our meetings now are set and on the calendar. So we are scheduled, locked up, invitations out. Our meetings are virtual this year, which I think is going to make it a lot easier for everyone to be able to attend. So we're very excited. I know the manager mentioned the Parks and Rec for the Winter Carnival this weekend. I unfortunately had a family event, so I couldn't be there. But I do just want to shout out on behalf of Mayor Clark and myself. We sit on that subcommittee. There's a lot of work. The rec department does a phenomenal job. I got great feedback from people all over that could not believe there was no charge. They couldn't believe how well it was organized. Granted, it was a little warm for a winter carnival. It's too bad it wasn't a couple days later when we had all this great snow. But they, our rec department always does a great job, Parks and Rec. So I want to just do a shout out, and our volunteers as well. I do want to also share information that we got. As you guys know, the Municipal Alliance is supporting the Sussex County Food Pantry, and they published a report, which I think everyone may find interesting, with regard to the percentage of people in municipalities served. And this is a published report that I got from Valerie. Lafayette, I pulled a couple municipalities out just to put everything in range. So Lafayette, 4.9%, Sussex, 7.6%, Sparta, 16.7%, Newton, 21.6%. So I think it's important that we really understand the value of what the Sussex County Food Pantry provides to people in our community. It's really important, and I think oftentimes we don't think about that need right here, but it's here. In other news, just as the liaison to the New Jersey League of Municipalities, I just want to offer congratulations to Mayor Janice Kovach. I had the pleasure of working with her for a few years. She was actually voted into the Mayor's Hall of Fame. So very exciting, the New Jersey Mayor's Hall of Fame. So it's a big deal, and congratulations to Mayor Kovach. And that's it for liaison reports.
Thank you.
Actually, I have one other liaison update to make. On Friday, Councilman Hertzberg and I will meet with Commissioner Space and Manager Tappan to try to start a quarterly meeting with our county commissioners.
Thank you. Any other liaison updates that you may have left out? Not any unfinished or new business, and I'll again start to my far right, Councilman Chiarello.
Sure. Hang on a second. Okay. Also, I want to start off by thanking our DPW staff who made short order of a foot of snow. Did a fantastic job. So thanks. It was a very long night for people. Also, I attended the Winter Carnival for a period in time, and I want to thank our Parks and Rec department, as Councilman Quinn mentioned earlier. Mayor Clark and I attended a film screening last weekend. Do you want to say more about that yourself when it comes to when you're?
Yeah, I was going to
why
talk
don't
about
you
that.
mention that?
Okay.
And speaking of arts, I'm going to attend an event at the Skylands Pack in Newton this weekend, and I hope everybody avails himself of the arts in Sussex County, and it's a beautiful facility, and we should support our local arts. And lastly, we did receive a number of flag requests, although they are kind of a ways in the future, so this is maybe for the clerk. Roxanne, if we make a request to fly a flag, let's say in August, like, does that get, how do we know we're going to remember? Or do we remember, or do you remember that? Or how do we remember to do this in August?
Oh, well, if we want to fly it in August, we have to do it in July.
Okay, so we want to wait until we get close to the date.
Yeah, then I'll put on the agenda for that.
Okay. Because there was one person who asked to fly a series of military flags beginning in June, going through December, which we did last year, and I want to do it again this year, or make a recommendation that we do this year. So the first would be in June. I guess I would wait until we're closer to June.
Sure, I have that list that you forwarded to me.
Okay, so I will wait as we get closer to June. And that is all my new business updates.
Thank you.
No new
Councilman
business
Blumetti.
updates. No new business updates.
As Councilman Chiarello alluded to, we had the pleasure of attending the premiere of a movie that was shot exclusively in Sparta using two local Sparta. I don't think they were actors before.
But now they are.
But now they are. And it was a resounding success. Over 600 people, I believe, attended the premiere. They actually had to turn away people. And so the movie itself is Emerald Ties. it features, if those of you who go to Lake House Cafe and have ever been served by Terry Clark, he was probably withholding with you that he actually has very good acting chops, so I encourage you to see that. And so it was also entirely put on by Sussex County residents. And like I say, whenever I go to a lot of events in town, we have a lot of talent in this county. And as I joked there, I think that the title should be really about hidden gems, meaning that there are a lot of talented people in our county, and that showed because it was exclusively from the actors to the cinematographer to the person who helped with the sound editing, all local. The sound editor actually was from Sparta High School, who's a teacher there. And so as I looked into this, it became abundantly clear to me that encouraging filmmaking in Sussex County and in Sparta in particular is something that we should be doing. And why should we be doing it? Well, back in 2017, the revenue generated for entertainment production was about $65 million. And now in 2022, it's $650 million. There's a tenfold increase in 6 years.
In New Jersey, right?
In New Jersey alone. This is just New Jersey. In New Jersey, there are 29 movie studios. There's a gigantic Netflix studio that's being built in Monmouth. And the head of the film commission jokes that, Hollywood is simply New Jersey of the West, given the amount of production. So it became clear to me that Sparta needs to take a central role in encouraging entertainment production here. And thankfully, there is an opportunity to do that. It's through the New Jersey Economic Development Association. There are criteria that a township can do to become a film-ready community. And so what I will be doing, and I'm announcing today, is that we will be seeking applications for the Cultural Affairs Committee. We are allowed, there's no limited number of people that we can put on this committee, but the people who will apply will form a subgroup that will look into what it takes to get Sparta designated by the New Jersey Economic Development Association as a film-ready community, because we have an interest, not only as the goodwill that it provides, but these films provide jobs and they provide revenue for the people of Sparta, and we should not be losing out to other counties and towns in New Jersey. So again, I encourage the public to apply. You will apply online. You will list that you want to be a part of the Cultural Affairs Committee. And my hope is at the next meeting, which I believe is February 26th, we will actually make appointments to the Cultural Affairs Committee, and the people who are appointed will take it upon themselves to begin preparing for getting Sparta Film Ready designation. And so, again, we hope to start that February 26th with appointments, so I encourage everyone to apply. And that is all for my new business. Thank you.
Neil, just real quick.
Yes.
Jim, could you please talk to Mike and just make sure that an option is added to the online volunteer form for the Cultural Affairs Committee? So that when people go out there, they have a box to check, because just to make sure that it's an option.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there is an option for cultural affairs, but there's no option, obviously, now for the film
I think
part of
we
that
should
subcommittee.
do we have to rename it though? I mean, because there is already a committee called that, so I just don't want people to be confused either.
We can
Maybe we
probably,
should
Put it in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I think applications are already coming in, and they have put on their, when they filled out the form, they are expressing that their interest is becoming part of the Cultural Affairs Committee dedicated to the Film Ready designation.
Okay, so you're saying we don't need to add any.
I don't think so. I think that,
Okay.
yeah, I think
just wanna
we should be
make sure
okay.
there's
No, I
no-
think that's a very good point, but I think we're covered.
Okay.
So the only thing I want to talk about is, me and Chris have talked about this recently. I think we've all gotten some calls. There's been some information being put out via social media about our former Superfund site and potential tests that have come out negatively out there, and the possible concerns about, our fields and whatnot. So we're gonna start gathering some information. We'll work with the town manager to kind of flesh that out and see what's real and what's, what may be, misleading test results or whatever. But I know there's a lot of concern. There's a lot of people worried about it. So we'll work to make sure that we can address those concerns. That's all I have, Chris.
So I have a few. First and foremost, last week, I attended the Sparta Township Safety and Security Summit. I have to say, it was unbelievable. I was so impressed. Chief was there with the police department, Senator Benjamin was there, Shannon Benson, Dr. Beck was there, Dr. Esposito, Dr. Lorenz. The presentations were amazing. I am disappointed that more people were not there, because I have to be honest with you, you could tell the time that they put into this. And I will tell you, after I stayed for the first hour, when I got there, you guys were setting up, so I didn't get to go to the breakout rooms. But I will tell you, in that hour, I was just I felt so thankful. I'm always reminded of how thankful we are here to have the people here doing all this work on behalf of our students and our community. And I don't know if I don't know what the next steps are, but it is my sincere hope that they are able to get this information in some way out to the community, because it was unbelievably insightful. And I just wanted to thank all of them for all their hard work in putting everything together. I do want to talk to the manager about something. I know I sound like a broken record. I will apologize in advance. I'm sorry. But the Exxon building on Woodport Road is a complete disaster. And I know I've said this before. I know we've called them. I know they pulled weeds and whatever. But I think it's unbelievably unfair to the businesses in town that take so much time making sure that their property looks perfect, is well maintained, to have that thing, that eyesore. I mean, there's a dumpster on the side, the paint, the soffits are falling down. It just looks like a dump site. So if we could reach out to them, and I don't know what the plan for, knock it down, fix it up, paint it, whatever they need to do to it.
Or
It's not fair.
Are we allowed to do it ourselves and then bill them if they're not keeping it up to our code?
If it's not safe and they don't address it within a period of time, we can go in and make it safe and then invoice them. But we have a good code enforcement person. We'll get right on it.
Okay, thank you. I just want to point out to everyone, if you look in your League of Municipalities magazine that you all received this evening on page 20, you will see a designation for a sister city. And I know that we've been talking about this, so I just wanted to make everyone aware. Check out page 20, and you'll see, I'm not really a fan of the particular sign they use, but I think a sign might be cool, or maybe a sign in the building or something, if we decide to move forward with the sister city thing. Just something to think about. So again, that's page 20. I had a conversation with the county in my role as the League of Municipalities president. We had a great discussion around some really great opportunities that the state has with regard to startup costs and offsets in the form of grants for shared services. So the league is going to be actually facilitating workshops where we're going to be pulling all the municipal leadership teams into sessions to really work through and talk more about shared services. But one of the things that I called immediately the manager to talk about was, we've talked about for a long time the possibility of having our own dog pound. We've used services all over the place. We've talked about this before. So one of the things that I was thinking, and I told Jim, I sent you the presentation to really do some research, because if we could leverage that money, because we already are, and we build that into a shared service, we may be able to have the state pay the entire bill to build that facility. And I think it'd be great for our community, great for our animal control and the police department. They fund upwards of $500,000. So we have to match, I think it was 10% or 15%. I don't have it right in front of me, so Jenny, don't quote me on that, because I don't have it right in front of me right here. But it's a really great opportunity, and it is to support shared services. Chief, also for you to be aware, I don't know if you've seen this or not. I don't know if I sent it to you. I will send it to you when I get home. But the other thing that this could be used for is new shared services in the area of multiple response. So in other words, EMS, police, fire, dispatch. If there's equipment that's needed, like radios or different things of that nature, this money can be used for that. So I apologize. I will send it to you as well. I'll get it to everybody on council so everyone can take a look at it, but I think there might be some great opportunities there for us. And with that said, at some point, well, I'll talk to you about it offline. That's it. That's it for me for now.
Thank you. Now, public comment period. Anyone wishing to be heard, please approach the mic.
Mike Devine, Oak Parkway, I just had three, hopefully quick ones. The Lake Mohawk meeting, is that public, Neil, or is that just a town and manager or something?
That's simply town and some members of the Board of Trustees, and then also a couple employees. And then we're just trying to keep an open dialogue between the two entities. And then, obviously, no action is going to be taken at that, and any action would have to come vis-a-vis, Lake Mohawk's rules and our municipality rules, so.
If I show up, will I get kicked out or asked to leave, do you think?
Yes. No, I'm kidding.
Smarter than I thought. Okay,
But if you
I'm
have
kidding, I'm
issues
not-
that you think we should discuss, I would encourage you to email Councilwoman Quinn and I and let us know, hey, you should probably bring this up in your discussions with Lake Mohawk. I think that, both of us would be more than happy to
good. I'd
to
like
raise
to do
that.
that, because as you know, last year was dreadful for the lake, frankly, and don't quote me, but it was terrible. But they got a really hot board of trustees now. They're in a state of flux in a positive way. So they're kind of open to anything. So if there's opportunities for collaboration, whatever, this is the prime time to put that in place, I think. I hope I can say this. It has to do with a resolution, but it's like after the resolution. So maybe I can at least make my statement.
Sure.
I didn't notice it before, but the fluoroalkyl compounds, I don't really know what they are. I don't think they're all that hazardous. But is this something that was produced in town and may have leaked into our water system?
That's what the litigation is about, with to make that determination. Obviously, that's an issue in the litigation, which would be, is it in your water system, and then whose is it, right? Is it DuPont's? Is it 3M's? Is it, and so that, but I think it's pretty clear that it's in, systems all over the country.
Yeah, it is.
It's, and it's likened to the new asbestos, it's the new asbestos litigation, essentially. So, the way I've looked at it is, this is sort of like a grant, that, it would be incumbent upon a township, if they can offset some of the costs through contributions by the defendants, they should do so.
But it's nothing to cause alarm.
No, I mean, at this point, I mean, the standards keep changing. And, none of us here are scientists and can give you advice on whether the levels, we don't even know yet the levels, that's something that will have to be determined.
I know we see I don't know who puts out the health department or whatever, the water quality reports every quarter. And I haven't seen any mention of this. I could have missed it, but they talk mostly about other compounds that are slightly above the allowed parts per billion or whatever.
It's within current standards.
It is. Okay,
Doesn't mean it's good, but it's,
yeah.
For now.
I forget what the hell the other one was. Oh, back on the resolution about the waste or the water quality thing. I guess not to beat a dead horse, but given the sensitivity of the underlying subject matter, I'm hoping we'll all be extraordinarily attentive to anything that has any relationship to that whatsoever. So we don't, and I'm not preaching you guys, obviously. We don't want to inadvertently go on record one way or the other. I'm not taking a stand for or against it. I want to make sure if somehow we're put on record and it's well considered and we've thought it out, we're not backing into it. Kind of what Jenny, I think, was suggesting. Maybe that happened a couple of years ago. I don't know. Let me leave it at that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mike, I didn't want to into your time, so two things. One is that I was just joking, we're not going to kick you out. So that's the, but that meeting is, we meet with large bodies, like I mentioned earlier, that we have a scheduled meeting with the county commissioners just to keep open lines of communication. Same thing with the Board of Education. It behooves us to work well together, and so we try to meet quarterly. And secondly, the PFAS standards are getting more tight, and that may require some more investment on our part to make sure that we comply with tighter restrictions that we foresee coming down the pike. So
Are they
that's,
manufactured in our town, or are they just coming from?
we won't know.
Historic,
Right,
that they're called forever chemicals. So this could be from 20, 30, 50 years ago.
right.
They don't degrade, I guess.
Could be 1,000 years ago, I mean, because
Degrade,
these
I
things,
think you use it to coat
they-
the frying pan or something.
exactly, yeah, these things just don't degrade.
Thanks.
Yep, thanks.
Any other member of the public wishing to be heard? I see no one. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. The meeting is adjourned.
Neil.
Yes.